Hello and welcome to another Today at the Games video. Lots to unpack today. It has been a very exciting time for Paralympics GB. The men played last night against Australia and came out 84-64 winners. Now that's a big margin. I think I said in my preview video that it would be around a 21 point mark win. So I wasn't too far off. That's pretty good going. Now the scoreline was big. The efforts were even bigger by both teams. Definitely the scoreline, I would say, doesn't reflect how the game was played. Australia really brought the game to GB and definitely had them nervy in the first quarter, the first half. Australia were in it, really posed a threat under the basket beyond the 3-point line as well. They just seemed to exploit GB's game plan and really bring the game and bring an exciting time to the Bercy Arena in Paris. Then the second half came. It really was a game of two halves. And GB just said, okay, no, this is our game. We're having it. We're getting through and we're going to the semis. And that's exactly what they've done. They have a matchup against Germany again, but really strong defensive performance. They obviously lead the tournament in steals, as we've said before, and they can share the ball really well. Last night we saw 3 players get into 20 plus points. Ben Fox, who's a name I've mentioned a few times, only missed one. He shot 13 from 14 and had a 93% game, getting 26 points. Greg Warburton, again, being one of the standout players for the squad, 22 points. And Lee Manning, the name that everybody is going to be scared of by the end of this tournament, I tell you, 21 points and 16 rebounds. Now, out of the 32 rebounds that GB had the entire game, Lee Manning goes and picks up half of them. Really, really dominant performance overall. While it was a nervy start, GB were never out of it. They still kept themselves in. They kept the scoring coming. But then they just shut Australia out, really took control. That 13-point lead came late on in the game, and you just knew it was getting put to bed. You could sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the game. Now, I've been quite composed for a lot of the games that GB have played, but last night I was sat in front of the TV. I was shouting for every basket. I was shouting for every rebound. I was celebrating every assist, every trip to the free throw. It was just, you can feel that now that the knockouts have come, the intensity has gone up. Everything's on the line. You win, you go through. You lose, you've gone home. And it was reflected last night. It was absolutely brilliant. Really, really proud of the guys. Everybody's reliable. I can't help but find it funny that we seem to have a lot of popped tyres and flats yesterday. Lee Manning had a few tyre changes, as did a few of the other guys as well. Someone asked me, how many tyre changes can you have in a game? The truth is, I don't know. I know I say I live and breathe wheelchair basketball, but I've not really seen it happen this many times before. So that's the honest answer. I don't know. I will find out, and I will get the answers out there. If there is an answer, if there is a limit, I'll find out. But that was quite entertaining, you know, to see a player holding a wheel up in the air and saying, I need to change. A good thing that they carry spares. You know, you don't really see that happen anywhere else. Again, you know, we said for Australia, they've had a good tournament. They really have. Unfortunately, they had to play in the 5th to 8th playoff spot. They played this morning against Spain and came out 78-74 victors. So they will go for the 5th to 6th playoff, and Spain will go for that 7th and 8th playoff game as well. So there's still games to play, still a chance for teams to pick up another win. Australia doing well to come out victorious in this morning's game. And that again just shows how good of a team they've got. They've got some really brilliant teenagers on the squad that they've been able to rely on. A lot of the points came from the bench yesterday from those teens. So really exciting future for Australia. Again, the same goes for GB men, the likes of Lee Fryer, Cusack, who are still young players in terms of their Paralympic career. We'll definitely see them again in 4 years. I have no doubt about that. So it's an exciting time for wheelchair basketball with all these youngsters being introduced by teams during these games. So with that being said, we move on to GB women. Now they play the USA today at 3 o'clock. Both teams finishing in that sort of mid-table, second and third positions. Now we've seen mixed results, but we've seen positive results, especially for GB women. They've got a lot of players that they can rely on. Their free throw shooting has been very reliable, shooting high percentages there, quite consistently as well, despite losing some of their games. Robin Love, probably similar to Lee Manning's game in terms of getting under the basket, being that tall player that is hard to get the ball off once she's there and she's set up for the shot. Laurie Williams adds her points to the game, as does Conroy and Atkin. Now, these two, for me, will be absolutely key to GB getting a result against the US. Conroy went in the groups and had an amazing 15-point game, and Atkin in her opening game had 19 points, I think, before the first half, but then goes and gets dropped in minutes lowered. So for me, she needs to see more game time, and her and Conroy, I think, could work really well together to give GB those points that they need to get past the US. The US side aren't as good as GB when you look at the free throws, for example. So I think if things get tight and GB can draw the foul, that's always better. You see commentary saying teams will want to start drawing the foul to get teams to the free throw line. That'll probably be the case if GB know that the US won't convert as many free throws. But that, again, doesn't mean that the USA can't score. They have some brilliant scorers, and not just one or two go-to players, but multiple. If a player's having a low-scoring game, you can rely on somebody else easily to go and have a good game for the US women. The likes of Holloman, Gonzalez, Murray, Zerbrug, all names to keep an eye on as the US top scorers, definitely throughout the tournament. And again, as playmakers and sort of the players to have high assist numbers, Murray and Zerbrug, all around pretty good players and getting things done for the US. So I would say we have a fairly even game to look forward to. I don't think I've mentioned a women's prediction yet, so I will do that, and I will say that the GB women will have enough in the tank to come out victorious, and they will win 68-57. So 11 points. Well, I'll say 11 points thereabout. But that's the scoreline. If you want a precise scoreline, that's the scoreline I'm giving. But I think GB will just have enough. Yes, they've had mixed results, but both teams have. And I think GB will want to step up and follow in line with the GB men and get to the semis and bring as many medals home as possible for Paralympics GB. Just a quick preview as well. The GB men will take on Germany tomorrow at 3 o'clock. As we've Germany and GB met in the groups. GB won that game 76-55. Germany will not want that to happen again. Clean slate. You win, you go through. You lose, you go home. It's as simple as that with knockout basketball. So GB will be confident. They've beaten them once by a comfortable margin. And Germany will really be aware that they weren't as disciplined on the ball in the first matchup. And we'll want to put that right. Every turnover that Germany committed, GB turned to points. So that is one area that they will want to clamp down on and make sure doesn't happen again, because we've seen the men just run away with games throughout the entire tournament. And if we want an exciting game like we had last night, Germany need to really up their defensive efforts and make sure that they put the ball away, but also that they keep control and just limit the men's chances as much as possible. But I can only see it going one way. GB men are one game away from getting to that final, and I think it's going to be another GB win over Germany. On the other side of things, the USA beat France, and will take on Canada. Now, skipping a bit far ahead, but I think we could see a GB USA final. You're hearing it here first. I think that could very well be the case. And the USA have got some fantastic players, as have Canada, and we've seen that again. We played them in the groups. Patrick Anderson being the GOAT of wheelchair basketball, and just one of the many players that Canada have to get the job done. But I am jumping the gun a little bit. No one knows what's going to happen in the next minute, so why am I talking about the finals? Because I'm very excited, but we will come and review that at another time. It is GB men taking on Germany tomorrow at 3, and it is GB women taking on the USA today at 3. Two fantastic games for GB, for Paralympics GB, two fantastic opportunities to get through to the next round. So stay tuned, keep watching. Every game so far has been on the Channel 4 Sports YouTube channel, and I would imagine that that's no different today and tomorrow. The finals take place this weekend, and the bronze medal matches. GB could be in any of those. Let's hope it's the finals. So plenty more to come over the next few days. Lots to be excited about, and lots of medals to be won, I'm sure. Again, please keep an eye on all our socials. On Twitter, I'm giving regular game updates and score lines, standout plays, everything like that. So if you're not following us on Twitter at MostlyBallingPod, go and drop us a follow. The same on Facebook, EEB Media Network. TikTok is EEB Media Network as well, and our Instagram at MostlyBallingPod with some underscores in there between the words. I had to think for myself then. Subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos like this, and eventually you'll see Egg and Eli back with me as well, not just my face. But I am enjoying these videos, so do consider following me on the journey. There's nothing left to say. I think we've covered it all. Go Paralympics GB, go Team GB, go get the gold, go get the win first of all. But yeah, I'm excited, guys. It's going to be a good one. I will see you all soon. Bye.